Four Eyes here again. And this is going to be part 2 of the Mike Mignola cover showcase. Well, I found a few more covers that were buried in my collection, like this Punisher number 6, which is arguably one of the best covers, I think, in the Mignola Marvel library. I bought this purely for the cover. I'm sure there's plenty of Punisher stuff that's awesome, but I personally believe that this is one of those covers that sells you on the innards. Got a nice Mobius effect, or Moray, whatever. I think it's Mobius. Anyways, yeah, I love the neon fluorescent green that highlights the whole hazardous waste effect. Kevin Nolan also has a hand in this. We've got pretty solid scene set up here where you're just like, what is going on? I honestly, this is one of those things where I don't think there's anything like this happening in the damn comic itself. So I don't think this has any relevance to the comic, at least that you look at in here, as far as I can tell. Ooh, but this is it has some Nolan innards in it. Ah, okay. Okay, yeah, no. This is worth at least looking for. The inks of Kevin Nolan, and then it has David Ross as penciler. So this is actually something worth checking out inside as well. I think I just haven't got around to it. Yeah, I think that's funny where it's Also, they give him a nose here when he doesn't have a nose there, and it looks like he doesn't have a nose in the inside of the comic. So that's funny. I guess they really wanted to give him a nose here when I think typically he has a nose there. You've got to have the nose. I don't know. Shout out in the comments about whether or not this looks weird without a nose hole. Anyways, I love it. Skeleton, check. Moon, check. Or sun, I don't know, check. I'm just making jokes about what there needs to be in a Mignola composition. And then I just got some of these recently. We've got the Phantom Stranger, and I think this has insides that are at least art by Mignola himself, and then he's getting inked by P. Craig Russell. And yeah, so this one's another one of those early. I tried to organize them so that we're going to kind of slowly go up in time. So that was, I think, 86. This is 87. Again, I know the last video was kind of a hop around too, or it was more focused on a chunk of X-Men or a chunk of Alpha Flight. But yeah, I'm digging this. This is another one of those ones where you're just gonna slap that in. Just slap it down. And once again, P. Craig Russell. That's who PCR is. I don't know why I didn't think of it or thought that was harder than it was to remember who PCR is. I can't help but think that is Mignola doing a Kirby thing where he pencils and then someone else inks him, and depending on who inks Mignola, there's a better there's a better comic. Better what do you call that? It has a better Mignola aesthetic to it. I don't know. That's weird. But again, yeah, this is pretty good. Again, Mignola's inside. Let's just kind of quickly go through these. We've got issue 2. This one's got some stuff going on in here. Got some cool monsters. This one looks like this feels kind of somewhat atypical of Mignola. I think his proportions are really interesting in this one for like the stranger. He's looks like Flavor Flav with his clock around his neck, but everything else looks, pretty Mignola-esque with the framing at the bottom. These I'm not even worrying about pulling out of the plastic for time's sake. This one's a little underwhelming, and it's a little funny looking, I think. Like, what is even in that? Like, what is this? Like, the texturing for that? Like, I think this is something he would definitely want to redo and execute in a different way. Like, what a weird... That's a weird cover. And then the last of this little 4-issue miniseries. This one's pretty solid. I like how he's articulating the cape, cloak. Again, we're looking at 88, so again, it's a very specific time where he chooses what he wants to execute at those times of his career, in this time of his career. So like, this is gonna be, what is this, 89, right? Yeah. Like, I feel like almost in a year he starts to kind of tighten up what he wants. That's pretty sweet. I think there's a good amount of confidence in this. This feels very Mignola-esque with the, you have to have this giant, weird design to a mech. Then you've got your character in the foreground being like, oh shit, what's going to happen? You gotta have the smoke, plumage, whatever you want to call it. There's a very hard black silhouette kind of framing this thing, which I like that choice. Kind of get your eye to go this way, essentially. Like, all I'm doing is looking up and down. So like, if this is a triangle and this is a triangle, or if it's, I don't know, sometimes it depends on how, again, going back to like how you bisect or a comic book page or cover. Like in this case, let's take this one out. Someone did not want this to come out. I don't know why people have to double tape their long. They're another long. I was gonna say long boxes. Why do you need to double tape the backs of these? You just fuck things up. You just need one piece, one nice solid piece. Yeah, this one again. This is gonna be, what is this? August 90. So again, and when we get to 90, what is that signature? Huh. When we get to 90, I think we're starting to look at more confidence. You can start to see that this is what he really excels in and likes to do. So he's going to really play off the stone statue texture and visuals. Can't imagine him being the interior artist for this. There's a lot of going on in there. Anyways, yeah, the black with the red, like that's a sweet idea. I love this aesthetic. Like, anyone who would do this I think is a good idea, where you just block it out with black, give it a crazy color like this orangish, reddish, fiery color. Got to have that Batman symbol front and center. Bam. This is a really cool looking Batman. I'm still looking to get oh gosh, what is that series? That Batman one shot of him. I always forget the name of it, where he's got all the skeletons crawling up him. Still looking to get that copy of that because I love that comic in general. But yeah, that's a solid piece, and also it has a gradient that actually I think is a pretty decent gradient. It might have, actually, I don't know. don't know if that's there's a weird gradient mix because like I feel like I see some dirtiness, some unevenness, and I don't know if that's just from age or I just said something that looked ugly looks good. We got a nice simple white, all white. All you need is monster character for Mike to totally be ready to have your cover ready. And again, this is very Hellboy inspired. I feel like where you're just like, yep, this is what you want him to draw for you, right in the center. Part of classics, 92, going up there again, where we're in the 90s, early 90s, and it's been apparently. I don't have the. I apparently didn't have this copy. I have the other annual. I don't think this has. Does this have him in it? It's an annual, so it's got a bunch of probably people's hands in it. But yeah, again, this is where you can start to see where like the confidence in his compositions and stuff. Very strong triangle right there. This effect is really sweet, and it's technically I think it's there's a person back here, but it's like kind of fades in the background. The way he's got the characters all splayed out and stuff is kind of dark and foreboding. I always thought this was a weird look. It's like, is this the Blob? I mean, this is probably one of the better looking Blobs. I love the way that looks. I don't think I've ever read this either. I don't know who the hell this villain is. Whoa, look at that. Ugh, got a weird look to that. But yeah, this character's design is really badass. I bet it's not as cool in here as it is on the cover. Like, that's another thing I feel like Mignola would have executed better than the interior artists. I don't know. No offense to them. We got some Lobo up in here. These are like another reason where it's like, I love the people involved in this one. You've got Alan Grant, John Wagner, Cam Kennedy. I love these guys, and yet they're cut the cover for at least for 1 and 4. I don't know if 2 and 3 have Mignola covers. Are just like, of course they already are awesome. So like, let's see, we've got Cam Kennedy's doing the art, and yeah, okay. Which again, I think he's not praised enough, or I feel like he gets kind of lost in the shuffle when people talk about stuff like him and his Star Wars run and stuff is just awesome. Him and this guy can draw Boba Fett, and I think looks like he could draw a pretty good Lobo as well. But yeah, I think he's underrated. They need to have more. I don't know if Cam Kennedy's dead or not, but where the hell's his praise? But yeah, I love Mignola's execution on these covers. There's a lot going on, but like it still has a lot of Mignola like tropes and aesthetics and stuff. This has just got a whole black background that kind of slowly fades out or whatever. You've got all these little, like, this is sick. I love the little, granted it's also a ring. I'm a sucker for wrestling rings. But yeah, like those characters are fun. I look, all those characters they're not even in silhouette, but they're like they're in the background, but so they're like purpley, and I don't know, there's something about that I like. It doesn't really work with the rest of the palette, but I just like the idea that there's these, that you use purple for this. Again, it's a very, very black cover. You know, I think Lobo obviously is going to excel with being heavy blacks. These characters are all just wacky. I don't expect anything less from Lobo creators. And now we're getting to kind of slightly more obscure stuff. I mean, I don't know if anyone's seen this a lot, but it's Dark Horse early days. It's 93. don't think he's in this at all either. Because this is when, I think by 93, this is when you're going to be getting more out of Mignola for covers. Because he's too busy doing Hellboy or something else. And this definitely again shows his design choice. You've got your really cool junky looking machinery down there. You've got a simple, just almost Kirby Crackle style black. Highlight the blue with this orange, so you got that teal orange whatever combo they call it, complementary combo colors. Yeah, this character kind of screams Hellboy enemy. And then we've got Solar, Man of the Atom. And this one has like these are the comics that like I'm not too inclined to want to actually look into or read. For no real reason. I better not. Do not detach this coupon from your comic. Please don't steal my lucky serial number. Yeah, Jimmy Palmiotti is the only person I know I can recognize. But yeah, this is just, something where I wouldn't normally pick this up if it didn't have Mignola as the cover. And again, this is same as the first kind of a thing, where you got Kirby Crackle, energy, heavy spotted blacks. A lot of times these characters are just like mid attack mode, so you get very like, I feel like this is a kind of a Mignola pose. Something about that. And we've also got more Batman, but this is later in his career, so let's actually look at, let's go back to, if I can find it. All I'm doing is throwing my comics around, so give me a second. Get paper and stuff, or tape stuck onto my comics, so don't do that. I want to use this as like an example of like where he was probably during his, let's see, I have it here, during his Gotham by Gaslight days, because I think this is 80 something. 89? I was going to say 88, 89. So that reminds me of this a lot more than this. This, again, this looks like modern, current, or at least fully realized style Mignola versus this, which was again referencing to what I just showed you there with Gotham by Gaslight, where there's just something about the aesthetics that make him what he, the artist that is specific to that design, but at the same time, he then even jumps even more to where it's like, here's Batman on Batman. And granted, there's not like the Dark Knight necessarily like style, but this is another one of those covers that just jumps out at you with the like striking, just what the fuck? Like, granted, these characters are wild. This is one of those weird eras, but yeah, you got Nightfall, I think is what this character's name is, right? I have no idea. I don't really care too much for this stuff, but the cover's cool. You got a bat ninja or whatever he is, and then we're going to the last couple ones, and this one's fun because it's an homage to all the Dark Horse designs or IPs. You got the Xenomorph, you got Mask, you got the first Dark Horse Presents, which I'm going to probably start doing a series on that. This is 20 years, of course, so whatever happened in the last 20 years, Sin City. You've got the old, there's a couple references to like the old logo, POW, Hellboy sign. I don't recognize this guy here. Not a true fan. Ghost. Uh, Jeff Darrow's. I forget the how you say it. I forget the robot boy and the big guy. I forget the name of that title. I don't know why. And I forget the name of this one too, because the series had one of the first Hellboy short stories. A lot of Hellboy references in here. Just Tarzan. They did a lot of Tarzan. There were the Rocketeer. I don't know what that is referencing. Tell me what that means. Those are like bullet shells. Yeah, Sock Monkey, Screndel, or whatever that fucking whatever. Flaming Carrot, Yojimbo. Well, that's not his real name. Conan. Is that Lobster Johnson's claw on the back? This one, I want to say I would want to know that, but Monkey Man and O'Brien, the Goon. I forget the name of that. Sergio, whatever. Concrete. There's obviously Hellboy's hand. There's Martha Washington, which I'm gonna have I either or I've already posted it or will post that I've done a video on that series, and so that's a little fun little Easter egg. Depending on if you've even seen that video or not, I might have just gave it away. But yeah, there's all these different creators in here. Of course, I could look in here and just say, oh well, there's what is it? I just lost it. Where did it go? Grow, Paul Chadwick. That's what I was trying to figure out the name of. And then, where is it at? Is there nothing in here? Oh, I guess they don't have. Oh, I don't know why I can't remember his name. I want to say like. I can't remember the fucking series now. That's so bad. I really want it too. The Jeff Darrow art and stuff. Oh, Frey. Oh, is that what that is? Oh, is that Frey? No, Emily the Strange is probably what that cat is. Sock Monkey. Oh, it literally is just Sock Monkey. Go Boy 7. Is that Go Boy 7? I don't know what that is. This is fun. Look how fake of a fan I am. The Escapist. That one I've heard the name of, but I haven't really looked into that. Where's that one at? This is becoming a completely different... Because I've seen this, obviously. I've looked at this, but it's like... Damn, do I forget now that I've started talking about it. Is that The Escapist? Yep. That's the one with the key thing. I think that's like Eastman. But yeah, anyways. Silly. Anyways, we're going to end off on the last one that I can think of. And this is Sledgehammer 44. And again, uh-oh. If you've been to my channel, it's almost like you can't go one video without having one of these in it. I don't know what that says about me, but yeah. Anyways, but this from the Southern Bastards artist, which also is an awesome series I'd love to do a review on. But yeah, I like how they're doing. Oh, and the story is from Mike Mignola. Okay, so he's at least doing the story, and then Jason's doing that and stuff. So anyway, these are great group of guys doing that stuff. Again, just great cover. Like at this point, it's like I can't really say much because it's like that's just what he does. This is what he does now. It's very tightly constructed now to where it's like it's a trademark in itself necessarily versus like his early work where you can kind of pick it at what maybe he doesn't know what to do or what he's been told to do, and then it kind of clashes. Here it's like I'm sure no one just says, just can you make me a cover? I don't care what it looks like, because I know whatever you do and your natural aesthetic or choice or composition that you're going to do is fine by me, which makes sense. I mean, again, why the hell am I making videos on just his covers when I'm sure there's plenty of people who just want him for his covers? So, and again, I'll bring these back up because one day I'll be doing these in greater detail, because again, most of this has, Mignola art in its guts, right? Especially at a very specific time where he was doing things like, let's see, to wrap this up, this is, I just want to make sure I get the year right. 90, October 90. Let's see, where's this happen? 89 and 90. So yeah, there's like a sweet little spot in 89, 90 where he was given a chance to do, I think, something that to me now encompasses like this, and this series, even though I only have, this is only book one and I need all the books. But yeah, that like, this is where it really kind of set him in motion with like, okay, now this guy is going to be a household name. Maybe not necessarily a household name, because people watching this are probably like, who the hell are you even talking about? So that's not necessarily the definition of a household name, but that's really what I think helps kickstart him off. And it's all, and it also, the other one would be the Dracula miniseries Tops comic. Those I think are the like catalyst to like pushing him towards a more recognizable place in the comics industry. And that's why I want to show these off a little bit in more detail and just be like, this is really a masterclass in how to tell a story in a very special way versus people who might be just doing it for whatever. And again, thanks for letting me ramble on about Mignola covers for the second time. And Four Eyes out.